So we're just gonna start off at the Costco Business Center. The reason I'm even in town is Aaron and Cody have a shoot that they're at today. And those of you that don't know, my husband and daughter compete in shotgun sports. So they are shooting, and then a lady had posted on Facebook that she wasn't able to seed start due to a loss in the family, and she asked if anyone had seed starts. Well, I was in the middle of upplanting, and so I brought her 2 huge boxes of starts that need to be upplanted, but everything from flowers to basil and all the brassicas, the whole 9 yards. So I said, hey, I'll come to Anchorage and I will go ahead and give away a bunch of free plant starts. Aaron can go do his thing, and then I will run to Costco. I need very, very little because we are all stocked up, but your regular things like dairy, we're out of heavy cream, some other stuff. So thought I'd run over here while I wait for him to finish. Thank you. Okay, the first thing you need is some OxyClean. I'm just gonna go with the Kirkland this time, $12.99. I'm out of this altogether. I'm also out of the collagen protein that goes in your coffee in the morning. I had not seen it at the business center, but I think they have it. Yeah, okay, perfect. So $28.99. We always grab avocados when we can. So a 5 count is $13, so $12.99. Prices have not gone up. And we'll see what else we need. I did read in the advertisement that the Kerrygold butter, I think it's supposed to be like $5 off. So we'll see if we can find that, as well as the cream. So heavy cream, $10.79 for half gallon. There we go. I found the butter and it is on sale. So normally the Kerrygold is $15.69. It's $3.90 off, making it $11.79, but the Kirkland grass-fed is still $10.39, so it's still cheaper. And so we'll save over $1 going with this. Let me check the weights though. 4 8-ounces, 4 8-ounces. Yep, same exact size. So still over $1 cheaper, and it's great. It's really, really good butter. I'm gonna go in this giant room, and on our huge stock up, so many people were like, oh my gosh, it's unrefrigerated. The whole room is refrigerated. So I'm in the refrigerator at this point. So everything that you see out walking around is refrigerated, and this room is freezing. So it only lasts a few minutes, but I did want to clarify, no, it's all actually refrigerated in here, the whole stinking room. So let's breeze through here. I'm gonna start with a little bit of cream cheese, $11.49. Hey, last time we grabbed the mascarpone, which is $23.79. Used all of that up, and we also used all of the ricotta, and so none of that went bad at all because I super focused on making sure that I was using those for family dinners. So let's see, I need some lunch cheeses for Aaron, and one of them, here we go, I think this one's sale. Yep. The mini baby bells are $4.60 off, making them $8.99, which is $9 for those. Normally $13.59. So we're gonna get 36 count. What's the difference? 100%. Oh, white and original. Okay, let's do one of each. Same price. so normally they have the string cheeses, but they are completely out of those. So normally that's $12.99. I found some mozzarella here. Let's see, a block. I can get a block of it for $18. This is the same thing. I can cut this up. All right, we always grab these. So $16.99. $18.79 for bacon. Okay, so that whole room is refrigerated. And now I am freezing. I think we about have it nailed out. I'll look for some of the beef sticks, and then that is it. That's all that we need to grab a couple of perishable things. Oh, maybe once a month. I think it was a whole month ago that we did that big stock up. So here we are a month later, and this is all I need to buy, and that is the beauty of having a fully stocked pantry. And then I have been working like crazy on the pantry. In fact, I have so many empty jars, and I started looking through the freezers to see what can we use up and what can we do, and that also added to lessening my list of things to purchase this week. You guys, I have these in my pantry. Look, Costco has them. $30. They are these chocolate espresso beans. These are to die for. I have a whole gallon, so I have 2 half-gallon jars that have those in them. They're the best snack. I'm not eating them currently, but they are so wonderful, and I had never seen them at Costco before, so there you have it. Okay, Whole30, no sugar, like those sort of things are what we try to abide by, and they have a ton of like beef sticks. That kind of explains why we're picky. So these I've had, they're fine. They're $16.89, so 60 cents per each, but they're mini. The chomps are the best. They're $16.99. They're $1.40, but they're bigger. And then if you like a little one, this one I think is the best. This LK, it's $15.69 for the mini. We got these last time, these grass-fed jalapeno ones. Didn't love them, but they are cheaper than the chomps. So if you do like this brand, all of the rest of them, all the way down this whole row here, is meat sticks. I have literally read every single one of them, and other than these, they have like corn syrup or some other kind of sugar or something like that in them, and so that's why we just stick to these specific ones, but they're also a bit more expensive as well. So I'm gonna go with the chomps this time. I think I'll grab 2. So this entire tiniest bit of food, you will not believe, $193. So that's why there's no milk, there's no eggs, there's no bread, there's no basic food, but the food prices is starting to really wear on us. And then the only thing I got that we don't kind of have normally, well, we always have like the OxyClean, but I needed some. I even went with the off-brand. So there you have it, almost $200 and like 8 items. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I lied, 14 items, but holy cow. Just tell me I'm not alone. That doesn't look like $200 worth of food. I don't know about you. I was just thinking about a recent comment I got that said, I want to see you do a huge stock up like you used to. Girl, same. I want to see me do that too. Holy cow. I can tell you, now I'm on a bunny trail, but my pantry was a massive investment for us. We sold everything in Arizona before we moved here, and we had the money set aside to build and fill out a long-term pantry. The spices, the grains, the beans and rice, and all of those different things. And we knew that we were going to do that, and it was something that we built the house around, something I'm passionate about, and so on. And I will just tell you, like, it makes me emotional sometimes that we had that pantry through the layoff. And not only that, like right now, seeing what the price of food is, holy cow, if we did not have a fully stocked pantry, I don't know how folks are doing it. And had we not put that investment in on the front end, I don't know how Aaron and I would be surviving right now. So I'm so grateful that when we could afford to do it, that we did do the things we did. I have food put up, I have canned, I have preserved, I have gardened. My son got a moose. We got a beef that we split with our neighbors, you know, that we butchered ourselves, put all of that labor, everything into it, grew our own chickens, and that is it. That is how we are surviving currently. So if you're in our shoes, sorry that I can't do giant stock up shopping hauls every time. Believe it or not, I don't make enough YouTube money to do that, and it isn't as lucrative as people think. So thinking on those comments of love because they just enjoy watching a giant shopping haul. Girl, I love doing a giant shopping haul, and I just cannot do that. I cannot. We financially could not do that right now. So anywho, moving forward with our week, I think I'll go watch Aaron and Cody compete for a little bit. So I got here and I was having to move around a little already. My daughter got in the truck. She said, I'm freezing out there. That wind is cold. Do you have any snacks? So she's already opened my Baby Bell cheeses and my chomps. And Aaron and I have these sparkling waters in the truck. So she grabbed herself a little snackaroo. And then I'm able to sit in the truck here and watch their last station. I have no idea what they're shooting right now, guys. I said they shoot shotguns, but there's so many shotgun sports, and it's a registered shoot, so it's like an actual competition. They win points and all this other sort of stuff. So actually, here she is. I'll ask her.
I need my glasses.
What are you shooting?
5-stand.
5-stand. Okay, they're shooting 5-stand. Okay, so the second one over, the first one, Ray, that's Cody's good friend, and then our daughter Cody, and then that's my husband Aaron. There's a guy that pulls the clays, and then there's two other guys. I don't know who they are, but you'll see a long-haired guy right here, and then the big tall guy in the maroon, that's Aaron. Okay, so the camera is not, it's not going to pick it. Actually, I'll try and record with my phone. All right, we'll see if this works. Yep, he blew that. Cody's turn. And now they went down the row, and Aaron is up again. Nice. Got both of them. And Cody. Nice. She got both of them as well. They are all finished. I think it's so cute. They are out there just smiling and laughing and having the best time. Our boys, they go hunting with Aaron, but they're not into like competitive shooting. And Cody has been competing, I think, since she's probably 10 or 11 years old, like really, really young. And she even made like a junior Olympic state team, and then competed nationally, like all sorts of stuff. So I think it's great. Daddy-daughter love of things. So Erin and I are gonna head home. We'll pick up tomorrow and see what the rest of the week brings. Well, friends, it's actually Tuesday. I spend Mondays, I was up working probably till midnight on planning for the channel and some other things that I have coming up, as well as Mondays I deep clean and I attempt to re-clean all of the areas that we have finished in this last month. And I did not show you last week, I did not record, but this side of the pantry I actually just finished yesterday. So last week had some doctor's appointments and some other things with my grandmother that made it to where I just couldn't get into the pantry. And then I spent the weekend with Erin. It was totally destroyed. Everything I say I don't want to do, I did. And so yesterday I changed out of my pajamas to take a shower to put on pajamas before I went and started working on the computer work for YouTube and so on. But I literally got this done, this side of the pantry. And I just need to say, I have never been happier with my pantry than I am today. I do wish we had more things canned up, and that is something that we get to work on and remedy ourselves. But I moved a bunch of stuff around, so I wanted to just recap and show you, because we did this side 2 videos ago and it is done, is put together, it is perfect. We even got the microwave back in for my grandma, her toaster. Someone asked what is in the buckets underneath here. I know I've showed that before on the channel, but I thought I'll run through real quick. So it's big things that you use. If you use more than a half gallon of it on a regular basis, or it's big and bulky, then it goes in 2-gallon buckets. And the 2-gallon buckets are filled from 5-gallon buckets in the basement. So the whole system continues to work. But it's things like flour and sugar. That is like huge bulk chocolate chips. There's some dried beans to fill in, tea, some huge amounts of bulk quinoa pastas, some refills of rices and peas and lentils, white sugar, brown sugar, oats, and then all of these are grains right here that work in the grain mill. So instead of having the grain mill in the kitchen, I keep the grain mill in the pantry. It's really easy. So this is the main grain that we use, which is einkorn. I have some other bits and pieces, some stuff for waxing cheese, but I can just stick a bowl right under the grain mill here and grind up the different grains. So those are all sorts of things, everything from barley, millet, amaranth, buckwheat, so just huge bulk grains. So let's talk about the other side of the pantry. So on this side, I did what we have been doing, which is like I literally started at the top, scrubbed every square inch, completely painted the walls, the trim, took out, like I'm looking at the light switches, took all of these off, super scrubbed that, even the light switch itself, and then the shelves. So they are bright white. I moved some things around. The oils and such used to be here that I don't use very much, but this is one of my mixers, a Ninja, whatever this processor thing is called, and then all of these attachments go to those 3 things. So I moved those to be accessible. I have some open shelving with not a lot in it. And then here's kind of how I moved some stuff around. So I moved all the beans together because I had beans over there and beans over here. This is all canned salmon and meats. And then this is what I'm down to on broths, canned chicken. And so this is what I want to fill in. I want to do more canned meats here, more broths, more beans done, more potatoes and other things. we came along. This is all of our lard. This has turned out great. This is what's left of the spaghetti and meat sauce that we made together on the channel. And this is all that's left of the tomato and basil. I will be doing a ton of that this year. This, I just sauteed chicken breast. Jump to a recipe, guys. Sauteed chicken breast. Put it in a baking dish. Cover it over with this tomato basil. And then put a little mozzarella cheese on top of it. Totally works with the plan that I'm on, my eating plan. It is wonderful. It is so juicy. I will definitely be doing a ton more of the tomato basil. So this is some relishes that we made, some onion jam. This is my greens. So now I moved all the veg together, all the fruit together. That's what's left of some applesauce and some cranberry sauce, cherries together. And then this is all my canned fruit that we did. So anywho, I decided not to store stuff on top of those cabinets. I think it just makes it look crowded in here, and they just get dusty and dirty. So I decided only put things up top here that are used regularly. I also took the time to scrub every one of these cabinets, completely clean and organize every single one of them. Ta-da! That looks a frightful mess, but it is very organized. This is the dog and the emergency candles. So all dog things, emergency candles, done and done. So there we have it. This room is officially finished. I got a little distracted. I'm sweating because I scrubbed our carpet cleaner and moved it and some other stuff into the pantry. So here, let me just kind of show you what area we're talking about. There's the wood cook stove in the kitchen. When you walk in, there's this back kind of hallway wall, and it leads to our eat-in like breakfast nook area. And then so there's the pantry. There's kind of this little hallway that goes between my grandmother's room, Caleb's room, which we've painted, and then the upstairs. And then there is a bathroom in this area. So I just cleaned the carpet cleaner in the tub, so it made a huge mess of things. But my goal to paint this week is the bathroom and all of the from the low ceilings down. So the breakfast nook area, the little hallway until you hit like the steps, the doorways, the trim on the doorways, and then probably, so we'll go, can you see there, the ceiling here? So we'll probably go all of this. Anywho, so this is the area I'm going to take apart and get totally prepped today. That's my goal. Maybe do some fill if there's anything that I need to like do some drywall repair, anything like that. And then tomorrow I will paint the ceilings and the trim. And once the ceilings and trim are done, the next day I will come in and do the walls, and we will finish this area up. So I like these because they have like a little greenery, but then I'm kind of over them. So I'm gonna dust those off and put those away. I have one in the front window as well. And then I kind of changed them out for seasons, but just a little over it right now. And I'm loving the super clean, tidy, get rid of stuff at this point. So those will get saved in the basement for the holidays and so on. So I'm gonna take those down. I'm gonna keep the crosses on the wall. I'm gonna keep these two decor pieces here as well because I really, really like them. I love my table. So one of the chairs White took upstairs, but We got these chairs kind of secondhand. The table was my grandmother's. She's had it my whole life. And then I inherited it and painted the legs black and sanded down and stained the top. So none of that is changing in this area. And then in the bathroom, I think the bathroom is really cute. This was built for my boys. So I got all these signs. I think they're like in the Joanna Gaines section at like Target. This needs to kind of just be reorganized and done. The kids and I built these shelves because this was a weird thing when we built the house. There was kind of this, we didn't understand the layout. So those of you that don't know, it was framed on the outside and it had the some of the walls, so some of the things inside it, and we moved a bunch of stuff around. Well, the way the big support beams and stuff work for the upstairs, this bathroom was really, really awkward. It appeared like they stole part of it for that bedroom that's over there. We weren't sure. Anyway, we shouldn't have a window in the bathtub area, but there was like literally nowhere else to scoot it, so go figure. And same with, so this is kind of like the biggest sink we could possibly get in here. And then the barn door that Aaron built had to be built because there was nowhere to swing a door. So if we swung it in this way, we would be hitting the sink. If you swung it in this way, it would smack into the toilet, not be able to open it. How do you get around that? Like, it's so tiny. And then the hallway is super, like a normal narrow, the width of one door. So if you swing it this way, it would just be like in to the wall, so go into the wall here or into the wall there. Anywho, there was no way to put a door on the bathroom. So maybe they had it totally laid out different, but we had 3 plumbers stand in here and tape off that bathroom to try and figure out how we could get a fully functioning bathroom for the boys, the guests, those sort of things. So that is the best we came up with, but I think it's adorable. And now it's my grandma's bathroom for now. I am gonna pull all this down and start. I have a bleach load that's ready to go into the wash and start kind of stripping out the bathroom, but leave it in here like, she's got like some toilet paper and stuff. I'll leave all that, break it all down. Thoughts? Any thoughts? Oh, our water, or horrifically, you like that? I was cleaning it, it had hair, blah, blah, blah. So I washed that and then stuck it to the wall to dry. I found a tile grout cleaner that literally turns it back to bright white. So in the end of this video, we should have this scrubbed down, like perfectly clean bathroom. So excuse me while I stop talking and get to work. So I got all that prep done. I showed off the camera. My grandma's therapist was here, and so she was doing therapy in around the area. Sorry, I have like a hair or something. Anyway, that I was working, and so I just don't film those sort of things. Anywho, those of you that don't know, my daughter has a cookie company and she sells cookies, and we have been trying out some new cookie recipes, and I found this one. So I thought I would make a couple of sugar cookies, and then my husband will take them to her tomorrow to taste test. So we're working together. She's doing some, I'm doing some, but animal crackers, like the circus ones, the coated, let me show you. these are my daughter's favorite cookies and store-bought cookies. So this is a sugar cookie with those in it. And so I thought I would whip that up really quick before Aaron gets home. And it's super simple. Unsalted butter, sugar, eggs, vanilla, flour, baking soda, cream of tartar, salt, 1.5 cups of these chopped circus animal cookies, and a 1/4 cup of sprinkles. I have these Easter ones that need to get used up, but I thought those would be perfect because it's Easter week. And then 2 ounces of white chocolate, kind of to drizzle over them. So super simple. So I thought I'd whip these up really quick. If you'd like the recipe instead of me just talking all the way through it, I'll just leave it in the description box. So 1 cup butter, which is half of this giant block. And we are gonna whip that with 1.5 cups of white sugar. 2 eggs. And a teaspoon of vanilla. So I have 3.5 cups of flour here. We're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So about half of that, 1/2 teaspoon, because I need the 1/2 teaspoon for baking soda. 1/2 teaspoon of that. And a 1/2 teaspoon of cream of tartar. I'm gonna just whisk the dry ingredients and then we'll add them in a cup or so at a time. Just kind of incorporating that so you don't find a lump. And then a 1/4 cup of sprinkles inside the batter. And then we'll use a few more on the outside. But we want those mixed in really well into the cookies. And so start with about a cup. And then you'll scrape down the sides in between each incorporation. You don't want to over-mix cookies, so we want it to just start to come together right there. Easy peasy. Pull it off the sides. And then add the next cup. So we got 1 cup of cookies. I'm gonna put a little chop on these before I toss them in, and then I'm gonna save some to go on the tops of them. So the other half. All right, my diced up cookies going in. Give that a little swirl. And I have no dry or wet ingredients in the bottom. The whole dough has easily come together. Really nice. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna cover this with plastic wrap and pop it in the fridge and let it cool for at least an hour or more before I try to bake it. I have learned if you want to keep the cookies from spreading out, just refrigerate them, make sure they're nice and cool, and then put them on cooled cookie sheets. So you don't want that hot cookie sheet out of the oven. It causes the cookie to spread out. So I'm gonna put a little plastic wrap on this and let them cool. We have the oven preheating, and I've just put some parchment on a baking sheet, and the dough is nice and set up now. So I just scoop it out and then try to make each cookie the exact same size. It's so cute with all the sprinkles. So I'm gonna start with 12. I only cook one sheet at a time because we're recipe testing. If you put more than one sheet, they cook uneven. The whole thing, but these are adorable. Just the batter looks so cute. So it's at 10 to 12 minutes, so I think they're gonna need 12 just looking at them. Okay, just a little bit better, and then I'm gonna pop the next ones in. I stuck them in the freezer just to make sure the tray and everything stays really cold. And here's a trick that I learned. If you, while they're hot, instead of doing like the icing and stuff to make cookies really pretty, stick it on it while it's hot. So these are gonna end up being a sandwich cookie. We only need one side to be super decorative. Okay, perfect. And then you just let them cool for about 5 minutes or so before you move them to the cookie sheet. And you can see the frosting melting just slightly on the cookies, and they're becoming one with the nice warm sugar cookie underneath. So the cookies are cooled. We're working on an icing recipe. If we come up with a good one, I'll let you know, but I'm going to go ahead and make sandwich cookies. So we are realizing same size scoop as the cookie. So one side has the animal cracker and the other side just has some chocolate chips. There we go. Perfect. So this one is a cream cheese and butter, and we'll see how we like this. Just doing some experimenting, but how cute are those? Those are the cutest little cookies. And then these will go back in the fridge until they're completely cool and set. It's already 4 in the afternoon. The lighting is bad because I took down any can lighting. I scrub it really well, pop it back up. It's nice and clean. I am a total disaster from looking up at the ceilings, but the ceilings are done, and the trim in this section, with the exception of my grandmother's door and the outside of the store trim, because Berto is not feeling well. He is in my way, and I'm almost out of trim paint. So I'm gonna have to get new trim paint, but I did get all the trim done in the bathroom as well as the bathroom ceiling. And as soon as I know that that is dry, I'll pop in the overhead light for tonight. And then that's gonna be it. And even though it's only 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I just finished the baseboard trim. I might do one more coat, because you know where you drag your vacuum right along the trim, it leaves like this black mark. And even though I scrubbed that with like a Mr. Clean bar, I couldn't get it out, and I'm still catching it in certain places, and I did 2 coats. So that's gonna be obnoxious if I have to do a third coat on that, but we'll do whatever we gotta do. I did go through, so what happens on these bullnose corners is things get walked through, like there you can still tell it, and it gets dents in it. So anything that was super repaired, I did spray some texture. We're gonna let this fully dry overnight. This corner's real bad. Because this is probably one of the most traveled corners in the whole house, so it was real bad. And I think we got it pretty well prepared. We'll see when we paint it, but we'll go through and do tomorrow, see where it's splatter marks this way. I'll wipe all that off. That's the coolest part about drywall mud and texture, is you can actually scrub it off a little, soften those corners and those edges. And then this is just a little bit of movement. It's the only cracking in the house we have, but it was pretty prominent right there. We're not sure why. It could be the way they tied the drywall in, that they wrapped it with forceps. Anyway, with any movement or bumping of that, we get a lot of earthquakes here. So not big ones, but regular ones. So anywho, I'm gonna let that texture though dry overnight before we start hitting all this. And I'll just come through with rag and soften the edges like I said in the morning. So whew, I think I'm at a stopping point for today. I have dishes to do and chores to do and dinner to make. And so I'm just gonna be done. Oh, I spent probably 2 hours dealing with plants this morning. I like to do that in my pajamas. I don't know why. Pour a cup of coffee and I was like, oh, I should record this. Nope, I'm wearing pajamas. I'm not gonna record it. So I did spend about 2 hours in the basement this morning dealing with seed starts, got some new things started, some beets started, pumpkins, and cucumbers, which was never able to grow any cucumbers last year. And so I started them early to see if we need to restart them. So they'll be a little bit big, that's fine. No problem, but that's where we're at today. This is day 3 of the vlog. So I am gonna just scoot on with the rest of my day. Hello friends, it is the next day and I actually got started a little bit early. So this is the first time with this new really great paint I'm having to do a second coat. So I don't know if you can tell in the camera, probably not, but I think it's because of the damage. Right here is the wood stove. Now this section, which is the worst, I can see it in the camera from here. All those soot lines and so on. I do have a gallon of stain blocking primer for the main living area, which is the worst. Now this area, because the ceiling is a little bit lower, and the stovepipe, see if I can get it in camera. It goes out over there. So here's the ceiling and then the stovepipe's way over there. Okay, I think because of that, it's not as bad as like the living room. But I can see the lines. So it's like, ugh. All right, so as it's starting to dry, just checking, it does kind of fade in and not be so bad so much. Now I use a tiny roller and I got comments on that, and it's because I have to climb up 500 times and I don't have the equipment for like a roller that would do like the whole ceiling at once. So it has control and I can only reach so far anyway, and then it makes it to where I can hold the paint, but oh well. So I did do a third coat on the trim and I'm not seeing too terribly much, but we're just gonna have to live with. I mean, the vacuum's gonna get used anyway again, so too bad, so sad. I'm almost out of white paint and my grandma is here, but she's gonna go visit my mom for a couple of days. So this weekend I will take her door off, get it all painted like I did this door, and do the outside of the trim, but she hangs onto the walls as she walks. So when she is taking a nap, right now she's on the phone with my mom and doing some of her own things. She doesn't want to be on camera. So I'll do the outside of that trim. I'll just have to be a lot more careful than normal, but you gotta kind of accommodate for the people that live in your home. I'm looking out here. You cannot see it on camera, but those bushes, the buds on them look like ice. Like it's just, they're so bright. I was like, did it rain? Did it stick on there? Which is why I keep staring out the window, but the lake's almost completely defrosted and all the trees are budding up, so beautiful. But I'm gonna finish the ceiling and then we're gonna start on the walls. And then I did save, and I'll turn on some lights later, but I did save, so we're not doing this room. So you always just gotta find a stopping point. But I'll show you in the end, like how beautiful bright white, and then just filthy from dogs and vacuums and everything that hits it. Even though it's such a small area that I'm working on, it gets so much wear and tear, and I might have already said that in the video. But I went ahead and cleaned up everywhere. If it had like slanted pieces of, I'll kind of show you. When I hit the sides here, it might like angle off. And so I went ahead and cleaned up everywhere. I did some touch up on the spray. So, okay. So I think I'm gonna hit these areas first and then go do the bathroom, because the ceiling in the bathroom did not still have like some of the lines and stuff showing through. And so this ceiling is drying and it looks so much better than it did. So I'll just hit everywhere that I sprayed, because it's gonna need 2 coats anyway. So. Happy, beautiful Friday. It's done. It is painted. I have just spent the last several hours to the point like I'm bruising and my hands are swelling, but I nearly never, and I have been taking the time to use the scrubby and the Mr. Clean bar and to just uber clean the floors. We mop them a lot, but it's so muddy out, all the dogs, the whole thing. They are just super, super filthy. So each section that I've gotten done, scrub up all the little bits of paint along the trim, the whole 9 yards. And now when it is finished, it is perfect. So it is finally, I have been saying for the last month or so that I literally just want the house back to how I wanted it originally, and to finish the projects and to repaint it, touch it up, make it feel brand new, all of that. And that is how it feels. I just stood in this area for quite a while last night while talking to Aaron. I was like, wow, it really is beautiful. The landscape's beautiful. Having the lake out there is beautiful. And I like the colors. I like the design of the house and those sort of things. So trying to find that peace and that calm has been a weekly project this month, is just doing one more space. So now we've tackled my bedroom, bathroom, Caleb's room, the pantry. The pantry took 2 weeks, but it got done. And now this area, along with the bathroom, we have the main living kitchen area and one more bedroom downstairs. And then we have the whole upstairs to worry about after that. But each area closer and closer. So what I'm gonna do right now is just get everything put back in the bathroom. Like I said before, maybe this video, previous videos, I don't dislike the house, the design, the decorations. If it's something I don't like, I don't put it back. But I think the bathroom decorations were adorable. And so I'm going to put everything back in there the way that was. I might not finish the bathtub because I really want to get another bottle of grout cleaner and just totally scrub the grout and the window from top to bottom. But I should be able to get everything else put back. It's already 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I got up at 7 and had my coffee and my YouTube time, and then have been working on this ever since. I think the final clean and put back is some of the hardest work. If you decide to take on a project like this, you feel inspired, it is the put back if you take the time to scrub every corner and really get the house put all the way back. Ta-da! Another area actually finished. So Monday, over the weekend, I'll get some of that grout tile cleaner, scrub the shower. It's easiest to do it when you're in the shower, as ridiculous as that sounds. But look at it. It's done. It is perfectly done. I wish you could see in real life the difference. It is hard to tell on camera, but like this is fresh paint and this is the old paint, and they are not, they're the same color, but man, it is just so fresh and clean, and I love it. I still love my grandmother's table. I love that tablecloth. I got it at it's kind of like a vintage secondhand store that has vendors in it, all those things I've shown it on the channel before, in Wasilla. I got the tablecloth there. We got some roses for now going on. The crosses, I got those for my sister Hannah. They say faith, hope, and love. Love it, love it. These chicken coop lights, I get questions about those. I got those off Etsy. You would just have to look them up. I can't find them on Etsy now. But yeah, I ordered those before we moved here. These pieces were odd. I got those at like a Home Goods, but I couldn't get the dust off of them, so I stuck them in the bathtub, ran the shower over them. They smell like either glue or something, but I'm like, talk about off-gassing, geez. But those smell horrific, but I did get them scrubbed and hung back up. Still love those, the look of them. They flank the pantry. Done, done, done. This has been my week. The bathroom, oh, so much scrubbing on the floor, the trim being perfectly done. It's just clean and tidy in here. I love it. This was the boys' bathroom. Oh my goodness, if that's Aaron, I'm supposed to already be showered up and ready for date night. We'll go see who's here. Oh, hey! Welcome home.
What's up?
I'm not ready for you. All right, I'm gonna go have a date with Aaron. I'll pick up later. See, I do. I actually wash my hair and get all cleaned up. Still in overalls though. So we're headed out to date night. Well, happy Saturday. Forgot the camera at home. We went to town, got a bunch of stuff for Easter baskets. It's pretty windy, so I'm not sure how the audio is. I gotta grab some water and meet you at the cow.
Get in there, mate. Come on, girl. Okay, Chug. Come on, Chug. Ready? Chug!
So, we are super bagged up now, but she will get way bigger. Looking good, Peaches. We are doing 18 days. So she could deliver safely as early as this week. And we're hoping not. So we need to build the milk stanchion because she will produce more milk than what the baby will be able to drink, the calf, right off the bat. So we will have to milk her, then a lot of the milk will go to the calf. It'll be kind of a back and forth, and then she will obviously be our dairy cow. But we are upping her calories, protein, all the vital nutrients that we can right now, and then doubling up on things. So that is what we went and got. We have a new round bale of hay that's gonna go in tomorrow, but for right now we have this super high protein straw bale and then a bunch of alfalfa. But you don't free feed alfalfa, or at least we don't free feed alfalfa. We give it to her in increments. We free feed straight grass hay. Oh, because, you know, she can't get all the way in there herself. So you moved it for her. Hi, pretty girl. You ready? You ready to have a baby?
You're all right. You're all right, Mama.
So why do her hips do that? Because the baby is low, heavy.
Good girl.
So we get questions. Dairy cow's hips are like that. She is perfectly healthy. She has plenty of extra weight on her. You can tell that in the front half. But that is totally normal on a Jersey. And then what's happening is the baby is all the weight sucking down. So, and then she's eating and sucking in, and then when she moves, it'll fills back out. Huh, Peach? Huh, Peach? Huh, Peaches? Happy Easter Sunday, friends. I hope everyone has an absolute fantastic day. Erin and I, after doing all of our running, getting everything done yesterday, dealing with getting some hay out to Peaches, we took a nap. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. And then we watched some movies together and hung out and did nothing. And we never, ever, ever do that because we always have so much on our plate. This morning, I have gotten Easter dinner ready. Let's see, we got some scallop potatoes, some sweet potato casserole. I did a roast from the cow that we processed. Caleb's bringing bread. I'm gonna roast off some carrots later. And I made some sugar cookies. That's it. Nothing extravagant, nothing over the top. None of the kids are actually here right now. They're doing their own things this morning. And then they'll be here this afternoon. Let's see. Cody and Destiny wanted to play, because they say you're too old for an Easter basket. You're never too old for an Easter basket. They wanted to play something called Secret Bunny, and everyone drew a name, and they had to make an Easter basket for whoever's name that they drew. So we'll play it kind of like a white elephant, and not a white elephant. Secret Santa is what it's based off. So Erin drew Cody, and he just got her candy, some little bobber fishing things, and a new pair of extra tufts, a cute little spring color. I got Caleb, he got a basket. There's a hoodie and a t-shirt and a bag of candy. We got some little Easter plates and stuff going on here. And that is it. My mom and grandma are gonna come over. The kids are all gonna be here. And Erin is literally outside changing the tires on my truck. So I got a ton we're gonna work on and get done today. So thank you for joining me. That was the whole week. There we went, 7 days, all of the craziness, and it comes right back around to the next week. And we live on to see what is this week got in store in front of us. So thank you for being with us today. Above and beyond all else, I pray you have a super blessed week, that you remember what this holiday is actually about, and it is about the death and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And I hope that you join me in celebrating that thanks to his sacrifice, we get to have new life. Just as anyway, thank you for joining us. I hope that you are so blessed. So with that, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.